to the World Series. The Big Ten and Pac-12 championships. The UFC. The Daytona 500. The U.S. Open Championship. The FIFA World Cup. And Super Bowl 51. The world's biggest events are on Fox Sports. We are Fox Sports!
1. It is the smallest number that carries the greatest meaning. It can signify a new beginning and a final journey. The ultimate goal is to be number one, to be the best, to be legendary. Tonight, two teams rooted in tradition make their long-awaited return to the Fall Classic. To reverse a curse,
the Cubs have won the pennant!
And rewrite their history.
Cleveland, the World Series.
The season's final test starts now. And it begins with Game 1.
Legends never die.
What a night to be in Cleveland. The Cavaliers getting their championship rings next door, and then at Progressive Field, it is Game 1 of the World Series, the Indians and the Cubs, and we welcome you to the Lincoln Motor Company World Series pregame show on Fox. Our thanks to Terrence Howard. Make sure to catch Empire Wednesdays at 9 Eastern on Fox. Come on in to Progressive Field and look at Kyle Schwarber, who had ACL surgery 6 months ago, and he's playing tonight for the Cubs. What a story that is for sure. And he'll face a young superstar shortstop, Francisco Lindor, already 4 multi-hit games this postseason. A couple teams that haven't won the World Series in a long, long time. Chilly night, it's cool, that's for sure. Temperature is going to be in the 40s, right around 51. Now some breeze, and that's what we got for you here from Cleveland, and that's what these two teams are playing for here tonight. The World Series trophy art set here at center field, Progressive Field in Cleveland. Glad to have you aboard here on Fox, and away we go with Frank Thomas, Pete Rose, Alex Rodriguez, Tom Verducci, and I'm Kevin Burkhardt. So 44 of the 50 players on this roster have never been in a World Series. A little bit different, right? What do you think is different about this World Series, Frank?
Well, that's what sticks out in my mind, Kevin. 44, 50 young players.
Yeah.
26 and under age on the rosters are powering these teams. In my 26 years of playing at this level, been at this level, I've never seen so many young players in a World Series at one time. It could be the changing of the guard in Major League Baseball.
This is more than a World Series, Kev. This is a world event simply because of the Chicago Cubs. They have fans all over the world, and their backs are against the wall. They got to win it for their fans. That's why it's such a big event.
You know, Pete, when I was a little kid growing up in Miami, Major League Baseball always owned the fall. And in 2016, we own it again, and not football. That's pretty cool.
Well, just think about last year, the first World Series between 2 expansion teams, and now so much history. I think about all the people watching this game with their parents and their grandparents. This is generational. And I know this, Kevin, at the end of this World Series, somebody is going to have the party of the century.
I think they deserve it because, guys, it's been a combined 176 years since these teams have won the World Series. It's been a long time, and there's been some heartbreak along the way, right? Like for the Cubs, started when the Billy Goat was kicked out of Game 4 of the 45 World Series. And stop there. How about the Black Cat running past Ron Santo at Shea? Cubs had a big lead over the Mets, missed the playoffs. You had Leon Durham's error denying the Cubs a spot in the 84 World Series. Of course, 03, Steve Bartman became infamous. Cubs dropped Game 6 and 7 of the Marlins. Cleveland, they've got their heartbreak. How about the catch by Willie Mays in the 54 series? The Indians were swept. There was Edgar Renteria, Game 7 walk-off in 97 for the Marlins. And then in 07, the Indians blew a 3-1 series lead to the Red Sox. And so that's where we are. These teams are dealing with some heartbreak. And now you worry about what they're facing here and the pressure on these two teams coming in.
Listen, there's more pressure on the Cubs because of the great season that they have. I don't think they feel it. It's a bunch of young, extroverted guys who have embraced the target. And think about Kyle Schwarber. He epitomizes Cubs baseball to me. Yesterday, he's playing in the Arizona Fall League. Tonight, he's seeing Major League pitching for the first time in 201 days. And guys, I wouldn't be surprised if he runs into something tonight and hits one out.
Pretty unbelievable. Who's the pressure on, Alex? Who's facing it more?
Well, look, the Cubs are the class of baseball. Anytime you win 103 games, you want to capitalize with a world championship. Every player wants to break that curse. 1908, you want to be a part of it. Pete, I think is something pretty special.
Well, I think there's probably more pressure on the Cub fans expecting their team to win it. Because I don't think there's any pressure on the players. Pressure was last week in those championship series. But this is fun, man. This is what you play for when you're 4 years old, 10 years old, 20 years old, to play in the World Series.
I just think after 2 great years of baseball for the Chicago Cubs, the pressure is on the Cubs to finish the deal. The weight of the world is on the Cubs. The world wants to see the Chicago Cubs win the World Series.
You know, it's interesting because we'll see. I almost feel like a little pressure's off the Cubs because just getting there was such a big deal for them.
Yeah, but I also see pressure on Cleveland because of who's pitching tonight. Corey Kluber is by far their ace. I almost feel like they need to win the games when he gets the ball because the other games are scramble bullpen games for them.
Yeah, Kluber, Lester the call tonight. And this reminder, when someone steals a base this World Series, all of America will score a free Doritos Locos taco. So baseball fans everywhere want to know who will be this year's taco hero. Keep watching the Top Classic. Oh, yeah. Find out. Steal a base, Pete. Steal a taco. It's only at Taco Bell. We take you up to game number 1. Corey Kluber getting the start, and there he goes. Cy Young Award winner. He's been excellent this postseason, as you can see, and he will get the call for the Indians tonight against John Lester. Lester this postseason has been fantastic, too. 2-0 with a 1.86 ERA. That's what we got. It's game 1 from Cleveland. Coming up next on Fox.
I've come so far, so fast, and it feels like 100 years. It's a little things in life that I feel.
Lease a 2016 Lincoln MKX for $349 a month, only at your Lincoln dealer.
Red 97! Set! Red 97!
Did you say 97?
Yes.
You know, that reminds me of Geico's 97% customer satisfaction rating.
97%?
Helped by Geico's fast and friendly claim service.
Oh yeah, baby. Geico's as fast and friendly as it gets.
Geico. Expect great savings and a whole lot more.
What are you doing?
Getting your quarterback. Fountains don't earn interest, David. You know I work at Ally.
I was being romantic.
You know what I find romantic? A robust annual percentage yield. That's what I find romantic. This is literally throwing your money away.
I think it's over there.
That way?
Yeah, a little further up.
What year was that quarter?
What year's that one?
98.
That's the one. You got it.
Nothing stops us from doing right by our customers. Ally. Do it right.
Let's get out of that water.
Wear with the best wear. MLBshop.com.
We're running out of time. It's either the red one or the blue one. Cut the wire. Look, if I get this sequence wrong, if I make one mistake, this whole place, this whole, wait, is that Skip Bayless?
Here we go.
The expert who said the Cowboys are going to the Super Bowl.
Cowboys and Patriots, book it.
What's happening here? Cowboys aren't even going to make the playoffs. They're overrated.
Kind of like this movie.
Look, this year Dak tears it up till Romo comes back.
Zeke wins Rookie of the Year behind the best line in football. Cowboys feast on the NFC least. They're going to the Super Bowl, and you're about to blow up. Horrible clock management.
Yeah.
Undisputed with Skip and Shannon. Weekdays, only on FS1.
This week, it's the NFL on Fox. The Redskins battle the Bengals live from London. Then, the Seahawks square off with the Saints. And in America's Game of the Week, Aaron Rodgers and the Packers face off with the Falcons. It's a full day of NFL action on Fox.
How was your first day back?
Boring. Boring? Yeah. No.
Uh-huh.
You ever feel like you made the wrong career choice? Yeah, the day I met you.
Lethal Weapon returns after the World Series on Fox.
Go.
The Fox World Series pregame show is sponsored by the Lincoln Motor Company and the exhilarating new 2016 Lincoln MKX. Certainly a big night in this town, that is for sure, because right next door at the Q, the Cavaliers received their championship rings tonight. They raised the banner to the rafters for the first time in franchise history. The Cavs.
Ron Harper, Kyrie Irving, J.R. Smith, LeBron, the King James.
That's correct, Pete. Well done.
Austin Carr.
There it is, the Q right across the street from Progressive Field. It's a big night for sports here in Cleveland. Of the major North American sports, the Cubs and the Indians currently hold the first and third longest championship droughts. So for one of these two fan bases, years of waiting is about to end.
Cubs fans have waited a long time for this moment.
Well, it's been a while since this city has had a championship from the baseball end.
Especially the older generation there in Chicago. I mean, they've been waiting a long time. This city believes in its teams. The city believes in itself.
There's been lifelong fans that have never been able to see a Chicago Cubs team win the World Series.
We are believing the impossible.
Waited forever for this moment. It'll be a blast to be a part of. It's been 108 years.
I truly believe in the land.
The best thing that's ever happened to the city.
But I don't know if they really know what to do with themselves.
Hopefully we can bring those dreams home for them.
Definitely be a first to win the World Series. Firsts are pretty spectacular, and as the older you get, the less firsts you get.
The city of Cleveland's a lot like our team. They've been pushed around, and now it's time to start pushing back.
Story for someone who's going to take home the hardware. I mean, the Cubs haven't won in 108 years. The Indians haven't won it in 68 years. So somebody new is going to win the World Series this year. And it starts tonight with a couple of baseball's elite pitchers on the mound. It'll be John Lester for the Cubs going against Corey Kluber for the Indians. Both have been fantastic this postseason. Lester's time in the World Series with the Red Sox, absolutely fantastic record. Indians needing Kluber tonight. We may see him a lot, huh, Tom?
Well, listen, I think Corey Kluber is the most important player on the Indians team. I really do. And manager Terry Francona thinks he's so important, he intends to pitch him 3 times. Games 1, 4, and 7. Nobody's done that in the World Series in 15 years since Curt Schilling did that back in 01.
It used to be the norm. Maybe go a little old school here. With John Lester, it's always a talk about running against him because he doesn't hold runners well, that type of thing. The Dodgers didn't really expose it. Will we see the Indians expose it tonight?
Yes, you will, Kevin. Expect a track meet. They will run and run often. Not like the Dodger monkey business they had with a long lead and then lean back. I've never seen it. Today, expect them to get a shorter lead. It will be a one-way lead, and as soon as Lester flinches, they're gone.
Well, it'd be a track meet, but they got to get on first.
That is
true. They got
true.
to get on second. He don't know how that very much. So if they get on, they'll steal. If they don't, it'll be a low-scoring game because it's cold outside.
Joe Madden is expecting this. They're going to hold runners longer. They're going to pitch out when they need to. Lester's a smart pitcher. He's going to be quick to the plate. They're prepared for this. They've been dealing with it for the last 2 years.
Well, I think it's going to be fascinating. We had a conversation with Sandy Alomar, of course, coach on this, a great Indians postseason performer. And you're talking about the Dodgers dancing. They did all this moving, but they didn't really go in that game. And he said, no, that's not what you want to do against Lester.
And not only that, but it's counterproductive because the right-handed hitter with his peripheral vision can see you. The other thing is, Kevin, when you have a lead, an initial lead that long, you have a negative secondary, which means you can't score in a double. You can't go first to third. It was not good.
All right, and the Indians, by the way, first in the American League in stolen bases on the year. So something to watch tonight. How about predictions? Here we go, game number one. Who is going to win the World Series, Tom Verducci?
I'll say it's a bad matchup for the Cubs because of the speed and because of all the breaking balls on the Cleveland staff. That said, I like the team with the better starting rotation, the better offense. That's the Cubs. In 7.
Alex, how about you?
I like Cleveland in 7 because of the bullpen and Andrew Miller.
I'm not going to pick a team. All I'm going to tell you is a city that's going to win the World Series this year starts with a C.
You're not going to pick a team? Come on, Pete.
Way to go out on a limb.
All right,
pick a team.
Flopper. Anyway, I like both of these teams. An unbelievable matchup. It's going to go down to something small. I'm going game 7 with the Cubs.
Pete's wearing both flags. It's unbelievable.
I'm from Ohio.
pick a towel. Pick a towel.
Come on, Petey. Pick one.
Pete will tell you after the World Series is won who's going to win. That's what we got from Pete. All right. We are getting set for game number 1. The electricity building here at Progressive Field. Kluber warming up. Cleveland is on fire tonight. It'll be the Indians and the Cubs, and we take you to game number 1 coming up. We are back on Fox. Cold out in Cleveland.
Exhilarating 2017 Lincoln MKZ for $349 a month, only at your Lincoln dealer.
Jack be nimble, Jack be quick. Jack knocked over a candlestick onto the shag carpeting, and his pants ignited into flames, causing him to stop, drop, and roll. Luckily, Jack recently had Geico help him with renter's insurance, because all his belongings went up in flames. Jack got full replacement and now has new pants he ordered from Banana Republic. Visit geico.com and see how affordable renter's insurance can be.
Modern life deserves a modern way to pay. Hey, help. Dude, you can use it online and on your phone.
Masterpassed it. XXXXL. That's sweet.
Coming in for the save. Priceless.
Want a napkin?
Masterpass, the secure way to pay from your bank. Don't just buy it, Masterpass it.
For millions of baby boomers, there's a virus out there. A virus that's serious like HIV, but it hasn't been talked about much. A virus that's been almost forgotten. It's hepatitis C. 1 in 30 boomers has Hep C, yet most don't even know it. That's because Hep C can hide in your body silently for years, even decades, without symptoms. And it's not tested for in routine blood work. If left untreated, Hep C can cause liver damage, even liver cancer. But there's important information for us. The CDC recommends all baby boomers get tested for Hep C. All it takes is a simple one-time blood test. And if you have Hep C, it can be cured. Be sure to ask your doctor to get tested for Hep C. For us, it's time to get tested. It's the only way to know for sure.
You know those nights? They're the nights that become day. Full of dancing and howling at the moon. They're the nights that remind us what it means to connect. The nights that teach us how to leave everything behind and live for the moment. They're the nights that memories are made of. Yeah, you know those nights. Those are Absolute nights. Unwrap your holiday nights with Absolute Electric. Get your limited edition now.
Gronk may end up being the best ever. He has over 5,500 yards, and he's just getting started.
How many...
Pac-12 Titans draw a line in the sand on FS1. Heisman candidate Jake Browning and the 4th-ranked Huskies take on Troy Williams and the 17th-ranked Utes. Saturday, Washington, Utah at 3:30 Eastern on FS1.
Tonight's aerial coverage is brought to you by DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you got to get DirecTV. Call 1-800-DirecTV. Indians last won the World Series 1948. The Cubs 1908. It's been a while. There's going to be a new World Series champ. It'll be fun as we start tonight. But for now, it's time to send it on over to the public address announcer here in Cleveland, Bob Taya.
And now, here's the starting lineup for the visiting Chicago Cubs. First, the manager of the Cubs, Joe Madden. Leading off, the center fielder, number 24, Dexter Fowler. Batting second, the third baseman, number 17, Chris Bryant. Hitting third, the first baseman, number 44, Anthony Rizzo. Batting fourth, the left fielder, number 18, Ben Zobrist. Hitting fifth, the designated hitter, number 12, Kyle Schwarber. Batting sixth, the second baseman, number 9, Javier Baez. Hitting seventh, the right fielder, number 8, Chris Coughlin. Batting eighth, the shortstop, number 27, Addison Russell. Hitting ninth and warming up in the visitor bullpen, the catcher, number 3, David Ross. And pitching for Chicago, warming up in the visitor bullpen, number 34, left-handed pitcher, John Lester. And now, fans, here's the starting lineup for your Cleveland Indians. First, prime skipper, Terry Francona. Leading off, the center fielder, number 20, Rajay Davis. Batting second, the second baseman, number 22, Jason Kipnis. Hitting third, the shortstop, number 12, Francisco Lindor. Batting fourth, the first baseman, number 26, Mike Napoli. the designated hitter, number 41, Carlos Santana. Batting sixth, the third baseman, number 11, Jose Ramirez. Hitting seventh, the left fielder, number 6, Brandon Geyer. Batting eighth, the right fielder, number 8, Lonnie Chisenhall. Hitting ninth and warming up in the home bullpen, the catcher, number 55, Roberto Perez. And pitching for the Tribe, warming up in that home bullpen, number 28, Corey Kluber. And ladies and gentlemen, your 2016 American League champion, Cleveland Indians. And now, ladies and gentlemen, to honor America with the singing of our national anthem, please welcome multi-platinum international pop star Rachel Platten.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. And oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
What a scene in Cleveland, Game 1. Cubs, Indians. Joe Buck and John Smoltz have the call when we come back.
It's raining. So we sent our weather girl out into the downpour for no reason whatsoever.
Yes, Aiden. I'm here at the new University of Iowa Stead Family Children's Hospital, where the rain is super wet.
Those puddles look very tempting, Stormy. Are they affecting construction?
No, I guess when you have to put the finishing touches on the only nationally ranked children's hospital in Iowa by December, you don't have time for puddles. But boy, are they really missing out.
Stay safe, Stormy, and we promise not to tell your mom.
What makes the best truck deal? 0 for 72, $11,000 off MSRP. How about a deal with no money down and no payments for 3 months? Yes, those make the best truck deals. And who makes the best truck deals? Green Chevy, your best truck deal destination. Save $11,000 off MSRP on new Silverado 1500 crew and double cabs, or get $10,000 off on new Silverado HD crew cabs in stock. Plus, we finance your future, not your past. Green Chevy, your best truck deal destination.
Gotta go to Green.
High-quality beef doesn't have to come with a high price. High-Beat Angus Reserve. It's 100% natural, hand-selected, pure quality beef. The cuts are tender, and the price is lean. We choose our beef knowing what will deliver the best flavor and most tenderness. So now, going out for a great steak can be as simple as going out to your grill. High-Beat Angus Reserve. Dinner out just became dinner in.
I've noticed you here every morning.
I noticed you always get off at this stop.
Yeah. You?
Jefferson Street?
Maybe we can grab a bite to eat someday.
Maybe someday.
It's someday.
Sure is.
Brighten your morning with a hot, freshly brewed cup of McCafe coffee and get any size for just $1.
Zimmerman Honda.
I was born in...
I was born in 1924.
1932.
1924.
I'm 102.
I'm 104.
How long have I been a Cub fan? Since they began.
All of my life.
Big fan then, a big fan now.
I've seen a lot of things in my time.
Oh, the waiting has been something terrible.
It's been a really long time.
I listen to them every day on my radio.
We had some poor teams.
I used to go to the old Cleveland Stadium.
One of the worst ballparks in the world.
Oh, 69 was a real heartbreaker.
The goat and all that.
That stupid coat.
Why would you want to put the goat in the ballpark?
It would mean the very world to me if they won the World Series.
The Cubs can wait for another 100 years.
Well, I'm not getting any younger, that's for sure.
I pray that they will win. I'm damn sick and tired of waiting.
Waiting is the hardest part.
Over for one of these two very proud franchises as we get ready for Game 1 of the 2016 World Series on Fox. The Chicago Cubs and the Cleveland Indians. And now welcome inside the broadcast booth, everybody. I'm Joe Buck, the Hall of Famer. John Smoltz is coming right up. Well, let's talk about the Chicago Cubs. They were the game's best team in 2016. They won 103 games. They led from the beginning, basically, and hardly ever looked back. And they were created for the postseason in 2016. Theo Epstein taking over in the fall of 2011. The timeline was expedited when Joe Madden popped loose and they got him. So here they are, a favored team in this World Series taking on a Cleveland Indians ball club that was good coming out of spring training, but one injury after another. And their best player, Michael Brantley, only played 11 games. And John Smoltz, they suffered big injuries in September. They lost their numbers 2 and 3 starters. It is impressive that they have gotten to this point. They are the underdog again, but they kind of like being in that spot.
They do, and they're not going to admit it, but maybe a small chip on their shoulder. This is a team that can't do it. You mentioned the injuries. You mentioned what they overcame. They lost their starters. Not supposed to beat Boston. Not supposed to beat Toronto. They did it with tremendous strategy. They embody their managers, fierce, competitive, and they used that bullpen. So for Cleveland, they had to overcome a lot. For the Cubs, they were built for this. Joe Madden has been preparing them for this journey. What a series this is going to be.
Yeah, it's going to be fun to watch this thing unfold. Meanwhile, as you look at this pitching matchup, this is how it should be, right? This is ace against ace, number 1 against number 1. John Lester, Corey Kluber.
Yeah, what the Cubs have is depth, and what they have is Lester, the hottest pitcher in baseball. You look at those numbers, it's going to be power fastball, power cutter against a guy, by the way, Cy Young Award winner. And if you like the ball to move, Corey Kluber's your guy. Slider curveball combination about as good as it gets.
Well, we can't wait. First pitch is coming up right around the corner. World Series game number 1 next on Fox. They say it waits for no man. Well, these teams have waited a combined 176 years since either has won a World Series. It's been 108 years since the Cubs won their last championship. 1908 was the year. Teddy Roosevelt, the president, and the Model T rolled off the assembly line for the first time. The Indians last won 68 years ago in 1948. Truman was president. And new styles and trends were embraced by the country. It's only a matter of time before one of them is champion again.
Hey, guys.
Hey!
Oh, is this the new boyfriend?
Yes. We haven't met yet. You're the sweetest. Yes. Do you want to hold him?
Hold my baby, man.
So easy to dip, so hard to put down. Rolled chicken tacos. Tasty shredded chicken all rolled up with your choice of dips. Back at Taco Bell.
Hey, man, why aren't you streaming my game?
Oh, hey, Bryce. I can't. See, I've got Verizon, and I've already reached my data limit.
You know this is the postseason, right?
Yeah,
You could be missing a classic.
You're killing me, man, but look, more data would cost me a fortune.
What if I just hit a walk-off bomb?
Nah, you didn't. Did you?
Why pay more for data limits? Introducing T-Mobile One. Unlimited data for everyone. Get 4 lines, just $35 a month. Welcome to Unlimited Baseball.
Hi, Misty. We're traveling. There's a hedgehog, too.
Our smiles can light up a room. Our work can light up an entire city. We're the men and women of the IBEW, working with a code of excellence that guarantees the job will be done right, on time, and safely. We're lighting the path to the future. Let us show you just how bright that path is.
Is he gone? Finally! I thought he'd never leave.
Why are you texting my man at 2 a.m.?
If you want someone to leave you alone, you pretend like you're sleeping. It's what you do. If you want to save 15% or more on car insurance, you switch to Geico. It's what you do.
Taking selfies in the kitchen does not make you a model. Okay.
My name is Eric Carter. Whatever you think you know about me, you don't.
Someone in the government's working with the terrorists.
There's a situation at CTU.
There may be an attack. I have to try and stop them.
Why does it need to be you?
I'm the only one I can trust.
1, 2, 3, now I'm counting up the casualties. Mounting up the cavalry. Let's go! With a massive shotgun shell, show you
what is it?
When they blast for me, running like a
Activation codes. These codes go out, and there will be attacks
All over this country. Do you understand me?
I've got to pull a plug. I need more time.
Carter, where are you?
24 Legacy after the Super Bowl on Fox.
Tonight's telecast is sponsored by T-Mobile, bringing you greater coverage of tonight's game. What's the weather tonight on October 25th? 50 degrees. Wind is in from center. No rain in the forecast tonight. Let's get out to the field and say hi first to Ken Rosenthal.
Joe, the World Series is starting off with a big surprise. Kyle Schwarber blew out his knee the first week of the season. Hasn't appeared in a major league game in more than 6.5 months, but he's in the Cubs lineup tonight, batting 5th as the DH. Schwarber said he might cry at some point after taking such a long road back, but the Cubs view him as an offensive freak, and Joe Maddon said he could run into one very easily. Frankly, the Cubs' other lineup adjustment might be even more shocking. Chris Coghlan in right field for Jason Hayward, the $184 million man. Hayward looks lost. He's only 2 for 28 in the postseason. Coghlan has only 4 starts in October, 4 at-bats in October, but he had a good second half. Now, for a report on the pitcher who the Cubs will be facing, here's Tom Verducci.
Thanks, Ken. Well, the Cubs are facing not just one of the best pitchers in baseball, but one of the best pitches in baseball. The breaking ball of Corey Kluber, well, it's not easy to define, but you can call it a goodbye pitch because he loves to throw that pitch with 2 strikes, and when he does, hitters bat just .091 against that pitch. Kluber is so important to the Indians that manager Terry Francona intends to start him 3 times. Now, no pitcher has started games 1, 4, and 7 since Curt Schilling 15 years ago. Joe, the journey begins tonight.
It really does. Talking about the world champion Arizona Diamondbacks. How about the lineup for the Chicago Cubs? Joe Madden put pen to paper, came up with this. The top 3, Dexter Fowler, Chris Bryant, and Anthony Rizzo. In the middle at 4, 5, and 6, it's Zobrist, the surprise of Kyle Schwarber, and Javier Baez. And then at the back end of it, Chris Coughlin, Addison Russell, and David Ross. Well, 2 #1 starters going at it tonight. And it's not a long list across baseball of legit #1 starters anymore. Glad you're with us. Dexter Fowler, and we're underway in the 2016 World Series.
Well, Kluber's got that 2-seam fastball, 4-seam fastball. Some call it a cutter. It's a hard slider. And then his curveball, which could be a firm slider. However you want to describe it, it's nasty. And the height of his fastball is going to be something to watch. If he's got low fastball command, then that slider and curveball combination makes it awfully difficult for the Cubs hitters to lay off of it. So watch the height of his fastball followed by his breaking pitches off the same plane as the fastball.
Our Geiger pitcher profile for Corey Kluber. An 18-game winner during the regular season. Same number of wins he had in 2014 when he won the Cy Young in the American League. Hard hit, foul, pass first.
And this is the 2-seamer. He starts in, looks like a ball, and comes back over the plate, catches the corner. Corey Kluber has been really good in the postseason with this pitch, establishing the fastball and then living down with the breaking ball. Already miles per hour. You can imagine the adrenaline has got him up 94, 93. He lives at about 91, 92 in the regular season.
Now Chris Bryant, 13 of 39 this postseason. And the first RBI in Game 6 of the NLCS takes the ball. Kluber so far this postseason has made 3 starts. 2-1 with an ERA under 1. 18 1/3 innings, 2 runs, 13 hits, 20 strikeouts. 1 ball, 1 strike here. And I don't know if you caught it, but Tom Verducci slipped it into that report. He will pitch games 1, 4, and if necessary, 7. That's unless something unforeseen happens. The beauty of the Indians, John, is they have Andrew Miller to pitch the middle innings of ball games, so they don't need their starters to go deep into the night.
No, he's not expecting anybody to go 7 innings with the lead, that's for sure. Especially not Kluber with their bullpen.
Here's a 2-1. 3 balls and a strike with Anthony Rizzo on deck.
You know, early in the postseason, Kluber gave up in the first 3 innings 2 runners each and wiggled his way out of it. Gave up a lot of 2-strike hits. But then after that, really settled down. He did get the loss in Toronto, but he has been on his game every inning more. He gets the pitch in the postseason.
Full count. Cruz struck him out. And Bryant just found out.
Bryant's not going to like this at about 6'5". He's going to think this ball's down, and he probably has a case. So right now, the strike zone, good for pitchers early on, and 2 caught looking.
Meanwhile, it's so loud in here that Bryant was, I'd say, 3 or 4 steps down the line before he figured out that he had struck out. He thought he'd walked. Here's Rizzo. If you want noise, you've come to the right corner of the world. With the Cavs getting their championship rings and raising a banner tonight. That's foul.
Well, the reason the height of that fastball is going to be trouble for the Cubs, if they get that call, the Indians, he then can just spin breaking balls off of that height. To describe his breaking ball is the last minute turn and drop. Hitters cannot stay off of the height of it. He has one of those rare sliders that just, it's like an invisible ball. They don't see it at the last minute. It has tremendous late movement.
Jammed in. Third baseman waits. That's Ramirez in a 1-2-3 start for Kluber.
This is the new 2017 Chevy Cruze. I'm only going to show you half of it. What do you think?
I think it looks very sleek.
The lights remind me of Audi lights.
And it starts at $22,190.
Nice.
But there's another side to this car.
Oh, wow. They're gonna love
This is the first ever Chevy Cruze hatch.
Well, that's impressive.
Wow.
So check it out.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I do like it a lot.
Now that you know it's a hatchback, what does it make you think of?
A young professional / weekend warrior. The whole business in the front, party in the back sort of thing.
I live in a nameless town. Blackout. Midnight, where we used to dance. Underneath the ugly halogen lamps. All went away so fast. Blackout.
Only 2 left. You should master pass that now.
Hey, dude. I master passed it.
She sounds cranky.
Daddy! Daddy!
She wants some fruit juice.
Master passed.
Oh, Jane, you are getting a ticket.
Nope. It's been master passed.
What's with this one?
Taking care of the check. It's all master passed.
Master passed it.
I master passed it.
Wow, that was fast.
Because I'm master pass.
Tonight's telecast was sponsored by Chevrolet. More 2016 JD Power Dependability Awards than any other brand. And by MasterPass, the simple, secure way to pay. Glad you're with us from Cleveland, Ohio. The Indians lineup, top 3. Rajay Davis will lead it off, then Kipnis, then Lindor. The middle 3, first baseman Mike Napoli, the DH Carlos Santana, Jose Ramirez. Brandon Guyer, an in-season pickup, bats 7th. Lonnie Chisenhall hits 8th. And Roberto Perez does the catching. He bats 9th. How about the defense? Behind John Lester, it's Zobrist out in left, Dexter Fowler in center, and Chris Coughlin in right. The young infield of Bryant, Russell, Baez, and Rizzo. 39-year-old David Ross does the catching as he usually does for the left-handed vet, John Lester. Lester has been sensational this postseason. Strike 1.
Well, he's used a majority of his fastballs in this postseason. You see the numbers, and he's got to keep guys like Davis off base. Davis has faced him 46 times in his career.
That's 2 quick ones. And over those 46, at bats. Rajay has 14 hits, so he's over 300. And when he gets on, he runs. 43 steals in the regular season. John Lester coming right after him. We'll give you the Lincoln Motor Company keys to the game.
Well, for Chicago, don't miss the fastball because you're not going to like what's coming after it. So you got to take advantage of the fastball off of Kluber, and Cleveland got to go. No dancing around on the base pass. This team is equipped to steal bases. You steal bases against Lester, put pressure on him, you increase your chances of winning.
Struck him out. 94 from John Lester, up and away. And Davis went after it, one down.
Lester's fastball has been electric all second half. He had a little trouble locating with the Dodgers, getting him a little bit off his game with the dancing around on the bases that we mentioned. But he has primarily stayed with the four-seam fastball and cutter. Occasionally throws the changeup, but he'll go to the curveball more than the changeup.
See what Lester has done over his first 3 World Series starts. Dominant. Right at Rizzo, 2 out. And Kipnis didn't even have to use the services of the bat boy. Just back to the bat rack himself with bat in hand after that.
Well, as this series plays on, it's going to be interesting to see how Kipnis' ankle fares. He injured his ankle in a celebration after clinching the spot to get here. Been having treatment on it. So far, we'll watch and see how it affects him as this series goes along.
For coverage of this game in Spanish, please tune to Fox Deportes. With 2 out, nobody on, here is one of the young superstars of the game, Francisco Lindor, who is hitting .323 this postseason, while the rest of his teammates have combined for a .192 average. Good pitch from Lester. He's on here in the first inning, a ball and a strike.
Yeah, well, the Chicago Cubs, widely known for their great defense, but they're watching and reading the bat head. And what I mean by that is anybody that squares around, they have to come charging and field the bunts.
That's up the middle. Another hit for Lindor. His 11th hit of this postseason. When someone steals a base this World Series, all of America scores a free Doritos Locos taco. So baseball fans everywhere want to know who will be this year's taco hero. Keep watching the Fall Classic to find out. You may not have to wait long. Steal a base, steal a taco, only at Taco Bell. We expect Lindor to go.
Well, best case scenario for Lester is if base runners get on, make it be with 2 outs. Less stress. And if they steal a base, do what you've done best. He's been stingy with runners in scoring position all year.
We detailed it during the NLCS in a start out in Los Angeles. Lester does not throw over to first. And teams try to make him uncomfortable with a running game, whether it's dropping down a bunt, making him field his position, getting a huge lead, making him, daring him to throw over, but he just will not do it. There goes Lindor. No chance for Ross. Stolen base.
Said it. Once you get that lead, you just have to go as soon as he moves. Lester is quick to home. He'll vary his times, but he's pretty quick to home. You see no decision. This is easy. Just go as soon as the leg comes up. And that's what the Indians are going to have to do to be successful against Lester.
So a base has been stolen, which means there's a new taco hero for 2016. Francisco Lindor with a big lead off second. 2-0. Ball 3.
So Francisco gets to claim the Taco Hero trophy, and everyone in America gets a free Doritos Locos Taco on November 2nd. Steal a base, steal a taco. Only at Taco Bell. First base runner. Lindor swipes second. Now he waits for a 3-0 to Napoli.
Definite green light situation for Napoli. Got to be careful if you're John Lester on this pitch. Perfect pitch. When it's 3-0, the hitter's looking in one area and one area only because he has the luxury of doing that, and Lester painted the corner.
Napoli on a one-year deal. He's 34 years old. He's been to the World Series twice before. He has been clutch. Led the team in RBIs this year. Takes a 2-out walk.
See, these are the things that in a World Series game, when you're pitching, the stress level's already high enough. Everything means that much more. And anything you can do to create or get a pitcher off of his game, that's going to be the goal of the Indians. The difference of the Indians and everybody else, the Indians will take the base. They are more suited, 134 stolen bases on the year. The other teams just tried to distract and get John Lester off his game without taking bases. And the only way you distract John Lester is to take the bases.
Now Carlos Santana, the DH. Ball one misses. Santana popped 34 home runs during the regular season. Was 3 for 18 with 2 home runs for his only 2 RBIs against Toronto in the ALCS. The 1-0. 2-0 from Lester.
Well, Lester's goal is to get ahead of Santana because the curveball gives him trouble. He's ready to attack the fastball at all times. He's been leading off for about 81 games in the regular season for this club. Not your prototypical leadoff hitter with 30-some home runs. But he doesn't come off the fastball too often.
And Ross wants to talk. To look at it this way, here's how the Indians put pressure on a defense on a pitcher, what they've done. Across baseball this year, #1 in scoring from second on singles. Stolen base percentage is 2. Extra bases taken, second in the major leagues. Percentage of scoring after reaching third, stolen bases 4th. So that's a lot of pressure on a defense, and in this case on a pitcher who has a tough time holding runners close. 3-0 pitch. 3-1. You mentioned the 34 home runs for Santana. Carlos hit only 4 of the 34 against left-handed pitching. More powerful from the other side of the plate. Count is favored. 3-1 delivery. Bases loaded.
In a regular season game, a 2-out base hit is no big deal. Even a 2-out stolen base. But in the postseason, the crowd never sits down. Everything's a rally. You start thinking about things in bigger ways than you normally would. And you got to remind yourself it's 2 outs. And you just got to make a pitch here, get out, reset the brain, and go sit down and get ready for your team to score. This kid at the plate has done nothing but hit all year since he's been in the lineup.
And since he's taken over third base, Jose Ramirez, bases loaded, 2 out. Strike 1 from Lester. Ramirez hit .219 last year, even was sent out to the minors. What a year, hit .312, 11 home runs, 76 RBIs. Here's the 0-1. Tough play. That is Indians in the first.
Well, there's nothing you can do about this if you're John Lester. The infield's playing back. That's just hitting no man's land. John Lester's not going to come off the mound too often to field anything that an infielder can field. But that is almost like a perfect bunt.
And Ramirez will take it anywhere way he can get it. Second RBI of the postseason. The bases are still loaded with 2 out for Brandon Guyer. When scoring first in the postseason in the LCS, teams went 11-0. Overall, 20-8 during this postseason. And these two teams had the top 2 records when they scored first during the regular year. Guyer, strike 1.
Great pitch right there, just to reset the focus, a curveball. Just in case, after a swing like that, Guyer was all locked and loaded on a first pitch fastball. John Lester drops in a curveball. First one.
0-1. Popped up. Foul ball. Strike 2.
Always found that if a scenario plays out where an unexpected run scores or a hit that wasn't hit very hard, the momentum obviously goes to the team, and the next hitter that comes up is looking to do damage on the very first pitch. So both Ross and Lester changed the at-bat on that first pitch with a curveball.
Well, Konerko, the last one to connect with the bases loaded in the World Series. This all started with a 2-out hit by Lindor up the middle. Stolen base, couple of walks, infield hit. 0-2 pitch. That will force home another. 2-0 Indians.
This is a cutter trying to get it through that back knee, but not literally to the back knee.
Here comes Chris Bosio out to the mound to talk. Brandon Guyer was hit 31 times. Led the league during the regular season, so no stranger to a bruise for an RBI. He makes it 2-0 with the bases loaded, hit by pitch, and gives the opportunity now to Lonnie Chisenhall.
Yeah, no chance he was going to get that back leg out of the way. This cutter, you watch his back leg, and as they say on the bench, we got ice for that.
Chisenhall now. Lonnie hit .286 during the regular season. So far this postseason, 7 for 26 with 4 RBIs. These Indians did just enough with the bat. Scored only 12 runs in 5 games in the ALCS to win. 1 ball, 1 strike. Up, foul ball, a chance for Ross. What a play. To bail Lester out of trouble, David Ross goes to the screen and hangs on. But the Indians strike first. This ends a long first inning in Game 1. Cleveland on top 2-0.
If you can dream it, you can do it. In the all-new Ridgeline from Honda.
At Cricket Wireless, we believe in smarter phones for all. Switch to Cricket and choose between the free Alcatel Streak and the free ZTE Sonata 3. Ask not what you can do for your network. Ask what our great big network can do for you.
Best Buy Blue Shirts make finding perfect holiday gifts easy. Why, if we made it any easier, the little drummer boy would work your office party.
And we all know why Phil loves the copier.
Holiday gifting made easy at Best Buy.
Yeah. Can you wake me up at the top of the ninth? Thanks.
Will your business be ready when growth presents itself? American Express Open Cards can help you take on a new job. Or fill a big order. Or expand your office and take on whatever comes next. Find out how American Express cards and services can help prepare you for growth at open.com.
Inferno will be unleashed.
Oh my God, he created a plague. Look, it's Dante's Inferno. Hell on Earth. If I can break the code, we can stop Inferno.
Inferno, rated PG-13.
Only got one life. I'm ready to go.
The Italians strike again.
Kluber had a 1-2-3 first inning, back-to-back strikeouts, then Rizzo popped up. It'll be Zobrist, Schwarber, and Baez. Chicago down by 2. Kluber pumping strikes. Zobrist 6 for 36, 3 RBIs this postseason. But in that cleanup spot, protecting Anthony Rizzo, who hits third for Joe Madden. That's it at the knee, strike 2.
Kluber really is no different than Kershaw. If he gets 2 strikes on you, lights out. 121 average when he gets 2 strikes on the hitter.
You can see Perez wanted it up. Zobrist wouldn't bite. Ball 1. That's into right center field. It's going to get down and go to the wall. Zobrist will dig for second. Think about third, but hold with a leadoff double. A 1-2 pitch, and Zobrist hung out a line drive.
Well, to get Zobrist out, you're going to see this breaking ball, but his swing path almost cuts it in half, right? It runs right into the barrel of his bat. That pitch was up in the zone way too much. When Kluber's good, that pitch is down. The story of this World Series is the man that's stepping in the box right now.
Kyle Schwarber. What a year he had last year. As a rookie, hit 16 home runs and then popped 5 more for a Cubs postseason record in October. But what he's attempting to do, well, it's never been done. No player has ever had fewer plate appearances in the regular season and been a starter in a World Series, and here he is with 5 plate appearances on his record for 2016. They love him, the Cubs. And they could have had anybody. If they wanted Andrew Miller, who's been the MVP of the postseason on the mound across baseball, The Yankees wanted Schwarber. Everybody wanted Schwarber. The Cubs said, no, we want to keep him. They love his power.
They think he can be one of the best hitters on their team and certainly an everyday player next year. But this, the timing and missing all that time, that's what I anticipate Kluber to really rely more on breaking pitches than fastballs. Now, he's tracked and taken about 1,400 pitches off a machine and just got the timing and the rhythm off a machine, but very few off of real live pitching. A little bit in the Arizona Fall League. So as this series plays out here and he's the DH, let's just say for the 3 games, they're hoping he can run into 2 swings that makes a difference with his power.
That pitching machine was not wearing a number. Nope. Kluber wears number 28. And that's inside. But again, he's worked so hard. This was going on behind the scenes and wasn't even talked about until a couple of days ago. And all of a sudden it was like, well, we just activated him off the 60-day DL. He's been cleared by doctors. That had to happen first. And Joe Madden will tell you this really wasn't on his radar until Schwarber looked as good as he looked tracking pitches in Arizona. 3-1. Good tailing pitch, strike 2.
Well, you saw that graphic earlier. Last year, Kluber absolutely abused Schwarber on 11 pitches for 3 Ks. And a lot of that was with that pitch right there. Starting it in. I think you got to go to the curveball or slider right here and just see if he's trying to force the aggressive swing out of Schwarber here on a 3-2 count.
There it is. Struck him out. 1 away.
Well, he went with that same 2-seamer that rides back over the plate. Schwarber just couldn't catch up to it. Put his foot down at 93 and tailing action.
So the first-round pick from 2014 out of Indiana, who was beloved in his clubhouse and with management. They're asking a lot of him. DHing here tonight. Hasn't played since getting hurt on April 7th at this level. And here he is, World Series Game 1. He's 0 for 1. Here's Baez. Baez has been outstanding. Was the co-MVP of the NLCS. Strike 1.
This will be an interesting matchup for me. I think the fastball becomes a show pitch to Baez. That one was really, you could tell Baez may be looking for a breaking ball. But as much as he can swing away and expand the zone away with his breaking pitches, that's what I expect how he'll pitch Baez.
Baez went around. Strike 2.
And that's awfully difficult for Baez right there. Because it's such a late breaker and he really wants to hit the fastball, he just can't hold the swing.
The swinging strike call made by the home plate umpire Larry Vanover. The 0-2.
If Kluber puts any portion of the ball and starts any portion of his breaking pitches on the plate, very difficult for right-handers to stay off of it. Because he has 2 different speeds. He has that firm 91-mile-an-hour cutter that he may call a slider, and then the 85-mile-an-hour big breaking ball.
Two and 2. Home plate umpire is set Larry Vanover with Chris Guccione at first base. John Hirschbeck is the crew chief. He's at second. Marvin Hudson over at third. Tony Randazzo is down the left field line. Joe West, the veteran, a crew chief during the regular season. He's in right. The replay umpire is Sam Holbrook. He will join this series on the field when we go to Chicago on Friday. Larry Vanover goes to New York. Two. Got him right down the middle, 2 out.
Got him looking away, and he throws the two-seamer comebacker. Starts out as a ball, and as we said, comes back late. Perez doing a great job just keeping his gloves still and everything right there on the outside part. Kluber carving him up early. That's why I think the Cubs, if you're going to have success against Kluber, you've got to attack the fastballs when given to you. You've got to be aggressive without overswinging. Easier said than done in this atmosphere.
You heard Ken Rosenthal before the game started talk about the surprise in the lineup. Chris Coghlan. Ball 1. Coghlan was traded in February when the Cubs needed to find room for Dexter Fowler when he signed late to come back for 1 year. Coghlan went to Oakland, was traded back to Chicago. Jason Hayward had been signed as a high-priced free agent. Hayward's on the bench in Game 1 of this World Series, and Coghlan gets his chance. Spins out of there on strike 1.
Tremendous movement. Of course, Coghlan on the plate thinks this ball's way inside, only to find out top of the strike zone.
Coghlan hitless this postseason, 0 for 4. So he's been sitting and watching. Now he gets a chance to start. Lays off a nasty pitch down and in, ball 2.
That's a good sign for Coghlan. That's the pitch that gives him fits. With 2 strikes, look for Kluber to definitely go back in that area. Typical left-hander, down and in. Looks good, but if it's down at his back foot, they can't get to it, especially if it's breaking.
Kluber with 11 straight wins when getting 2 or more runs of support. The Indians 12-0 during that stretch, and Kluber starts. That's ball 3, and Coghlan remains patient with Addison Russell, who has heated up over the last 3 games, waiting on deck. See if Coghlan gets something to hit with a count of 3-1, and if he does something with it. Full count.
And again, that's that slider. He struggled all year, Coghlan has, on sliders. In the perfect spot. Look, all these pitchers have video, and they have all the numbers to support their pitch selection and game plan. Now it just comes up to executing it.
Six outs, 5 by strikeout for Corey Kluber. 2-0 Cleveland after 1.5.
I'm Jamie Foxx for Verizon, America's best network.
And I'm Jamie Foxx for Sprint, here to tell you about our new unlimited plan.
You know what? That giant asterisk says otherwise, bro.
Yep, unlimited HD videos and high-quality music streaming.
Keep going.
If you pay a little extra.
And if you do what?
A lot extra.
There you go. I think this went well.
Only Verizon gives you the best value. Get the quality network you want and all the data you need without all the surprise overages and restrictions. Switch now and get 20 gigs and 4 lines for $160. All on America's best network.
When the night has come and the land is dark and the moon is the only light we'll see, and darling, stand by me. Oh,
These are hands. They're not necessary to open the sliding doors on the all-new Chrysler Pacifica. You know, traverse also means wander, like your equipment is wandering down the driveway.
Current owners or lessees of FCA or competitive vehicles finance and get $2,000 total cash allowance on the all-new Chrysler Pacifica.
Let's look down, shall we? Oh, is that my feet in the water? Is this the beach? Am I dreaming? No, I'm on a weekend getaway.
This beer has conviction. For us, it's Rocky Mountain water or nothing. Coors Banquet. That's how it's done.
Tonight's telecast is sponsored by Coors Banquet. That's how it's done. Up above on this 50-degree night, tonight's aerial coverage brought to you by DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you got to get DirecTV. Call 1-800-DirecTV. John Lester had a rough first inning after getting the first 2 outs on 5 pitches. A strikeout and a line out. Took him 21 pitches to get the last out. It took a terrific play by David Ross, his veteran battery mate, back against the backstop on a foul out with the bases loaded to end the first. 2-0 Cleveland. Bottom of the second. Perez first up. Roberto the catcher. 4 hits this postseason, taking a big rip. Hit only 183 during the regular year. And the catching position for Cleveland as a group, they had 4 guys that shared that spot. Hit 185, which was last in the big leagues. But this, Roberto Perez, the best defensive catcher of the group, and that's why he's in there. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Yeah, they love the way he handles the pitching staff. They don't really care if he hits a whole lot. They'll sacrifice that for his defense. They say he's smooth, he can throw. And of course, when Lucroy did not come here via the trade, blocked the trade, that gave this kid an opportunity, and he has not disappointed from behind the plate.
That rides up and away, 2-2. Lester, full count.
Lester's game plan actually fits how you attack the Indians. They are much better, in my opinion, off-speed hitting team. You can power through most of the guys if you have your fastball and you're commanding your fastball.
That's in the air to shallow left center. Perez got under it. Zobrist, 1 out. Leadoff man is gone. Boys and Girls Clubs of America's National Youth of the Year, Jocelyn Woods, delivered the game ball prior to the start of Game 1. Each year, MLB and Boys and Girls Clubs work together to create unique opportunities for over 4 million children and teens worldwide. To find out how you can help, go to greatfutures.org. There's former Cleveland manager Mike Hargrove, who accompanied Jocelyn to the mound. He led his team to 5 straight AL Central titles, to the World Series in '95 and '97. That's a little floater that's going to drop foul. In '97, I know the Indians lost in a thrilling Game 7 to the Marlins. Now in '95, who did they lose to?
I believe it's a team that's their only championship in the city.
Yeah. That was
the
Atlanta Braves.
Yeah. I didn't have great memories here. 35 degrees, 1 2/3 innings in my World Series start here in this stadium.
There's an 0-1. Well, that was such a good team that year after year put together. John Hart, and that lineup was just loaded all over the field. 1-1 pitch. That's up the middle, kick save, and now a underhand toss to first, 2 out. Good play by Lester.
Well, Lester has tried and worked on all of this. If you say, why can't he throw to first? Why can't he throw the ball? Well, he's attempted to work on that. It just is not part of feeling comfortable. So a good kick save right here. He's had many plays where the ball's gotten stuck in his webbing and he's run the glove over there and thrown the glove to Rizzo. But this team knows how to defend with John Lester on the mound. The corner infield for anybody with speed will come in. And Ross, of course, his ability to throw to bases.
Here's Kipnis. Lined out to first his first time. That's just outside. Lester wanted that pitch, didn't get it from the home plate umpire.
And so far, the inner side of the plate, Ross is already talking to him right now. The inner side of the plate, so into a lefty, away to a righty, is a little bit more lenient already than the outside part of the plate.
Back outside a little bit farther, 2-0.
So that's really going to benefit, as you've seen, Kluber and his comeback fastball, and then sets up that slider curveball into a left-hander on that side of the plate.
That's a strike. If there is an emotional leader, a heart and soul guy for the Indians, you're looking at him. Jason Kipnis. The guy on deck, Francisco Lindor, is the superstar. Just 22 years old, but Kipnis gets under one and flies one into right. It is caught by Baez, had to reach back to get it as he deals with the wind here in Cleveland, Ohio. Kipnis 0 for 2. Third inning rolls in game 1. Cubs coming to bat, down a pair.
Without the right tools, a 5-minute job can turn into a 5-hour job. So when it comes to your tools, choose wisely, Grasshopper. Case in point, Ford Transit. With 3 roof heights and 3 body lengths to choose from, Transit has the most configurations of any full-size van. So it's the right tool no matter what your job is. This is Ford Transit.
During Ford commercial van season, get $3,000 customer cash, plus an additional $500 commercial cash, and up to $1,000 in upfit assistance.
Congratulations, fellow human beings. We made it. We created a network that became the internet, and then, boom, we've got brain-to-brain communication, self-driving trucks. We're protecting rhinos with drones. This man bought a ghost with his phone. There's even an app to get clean water to people. Looks half full to me.
When everything's securely connected, anything's possible.
How can I help?
I could walk in the morning, don't get off in the night.
When you have 4 legs, you really appreciate the 7th inning stretch. And it gives me just enough time to keep tabs on my money and banking. With my Bank of America mobile banking app, I can see my accounts all in one place. I can easily manage them, and if something doesn't look right, I'm gonna know. Plus, I feel secure because I can set up alerts to help detect unusual activity. So I always have my eye on the ball. Oh, man. Typical.
You don't have to pay a lot to get a lot. At Cricket Wireless, plans now start at $30 a month. Monthly taxes and fees included. And we have more 4G LTE coverage than T-Mobile or Sprint. Cricket Wireless, something to smile about.
Your Can's thinking playoffs. Your Can's thinking division.
Nobody catches ball.
Your Can's thinking Houston.
Don't jinx it.
Your Can is Houston.
There's the home of the Browns. Looking for their first win. They, in my opinion, have a great coach to get it turned around here with this great franchise. This week, the NFL on Fox kicks off at a special time as the Washington Redskins battle the Cincinnati Bengals live from London. Then the Seahawks square off with the Saints in an America's Game of the Week. The Packers face off with the Falcons. It all begins Sunday at 9 Eastern, only on Fox. And the Browns are tired of the carousel at the quarterback position. In 2016 alone, let alone the last handful of years. Feels like since Bernie Kosar hung it up, it's been one guy after another. Here's Addison Russell, good breaking ball from Kluber. His stuff is on. His fastball movement is terrific, Kluber. He's got a good catcher in Roberto Perez, who frames pitches well. Good combination. 2 quick strikes on Russell.
That's the pitch Russell can't miss. There's a lot of pressure on Russell. It's a bad matchup for him because curveballs are something he doesn't do very well with, and the curveball we're talking about tonight is one of the best.
Here it comes. Got him looking. Strikeout number 6. 4th in a row.
Corey Kluber, I'm going to say, is good to his glove side. And what I mean is that's the left side on your screen plate. His glove side command is so good, and it's affected the left-handed hitters early on and the right-handed hitters. And you see that breaking ball in the spin. Anything that spins down and away, Russell has struggled with. So both pitchers, glove side, one left-handed, one right-handed, both deal with the opposite sides of the plate. Away to a right-hander for Kluber, and into a right-hander for Lester.
Strike one now on David Ross.
So just so you know at home, when you hear people say he's really good arm side, so arm side would be into a right-hander for Kluber. The opposite, glove side, would be away.
That misses. 1 ball, 1 strike with 1 out, nobody on. Ross hit .229 during the regular season, 10 homers, 32 RBIs. He's popped a home run that came in the division series against the Giants. He's 2 for 11. Catching John Lester. That's strike 2. In the second inning, Corey Kluber became the first Indians pitcher to ever strike out the side in a World Series game. He did that to get around a leadoff double by Zobrist. The 1-2. Fouled right side. It will get out of play.
So here's the side of the plate that he's most comfortable with. You watch on the lefty, paint. Another one to a lefty, paint. These things are absolutely dotted up. You can't do anything as a hitter unless you are selling out knowing the pitch is going to be there. And right now he is as good as I've ever seen him. The weather's not affecting him. The touch on his pitches have been fantastic, but it's the command of his fastball. And if the Cubs don't pick out one to hit, you can see what's happened so far with the early strikeouts.
Major League Baseball has attached home field advantage in the World Series in the All-Star game, dependent on the result, since the tie back in '02. And Corey Kluber, ironically enough, was the winning pitcher at this past All-Star game in San Diego, while the Indians are hosting their first ever World Series Game 1. How about Ross? He's on with 1 out here in the 3rd. And that breaks up a string of 4 straight strikeouts, 1 on, 1 out, and back to the top of the order. Tonight's telecast is sponsored by the Ford Transit. Built Ford tough.
First mistake of the night. He left one up. Oh, I should say second mistake. Zobrist got a double, but right there to Ross. He could have beat him with fastballs away, and he left a breaking ball over the middle of the plate.
Fowler struck out his first time. Dexter hit 13 home runs during the regular season. takes the ball. Tom Verducci, what are you seeing down low?
Well, as John mentioned, that comeback sinker is such an important pitch. Actually turned around the career of Corey Kluber. 4 years ago, at 26, he was stuck in AAA going nowhere as a four-seam fastball pitcher. At the suggestion of his pitching coaches, including Mickey Callaway, who's now here with Cleveland, he went to the two-seamer. And that sinker is a bit of a misnomer for Corey Kluber. I call it a runner. Much more movement horizontally than vertically, and he's got it working tonight, guys.
1 ball, 1 strike on Dexter Fowler.
Yeah, and if he doesn't dip his shoulder, he'll stay on top of that sinker, which creates that movement. If he gets underneath it, then that lateral movement becomes flat.
The 1-1. Tailing action at 93. The hitter gives up on it, and it's a strike. It's 1-2.
And so what he can do off of this, see the hitter's reaction. Now if they've got to be honest with that pitch, he can throw that cutter in, and as soon as they move to go hit it, they either break the bat or swing over the top of it. No pitches away so far that have made any left-hander feel like they can go out and get it.
Struck him out. Unbelievable run. 7 strikeouts. Through 8 outs picked up by Corey Kluber.
6 days rest has done him well. He knows what his task in this series is going to be. If they're going to be successful, they're going to have to ride this man's starters, this man's ability to start multiple games in this series.
4th pitcher in World Series history with 7 strikeouts through 3 innings. He still has 1 out to get. No one has ever in World Series history had 8 strikeouts through 3 innings. Strike 1 on Bryant. Struck out looking on a 3-2 pitch his first time.
The way that Bryant can carry his bat through the zone. Look at some point tonight for Kluber, so he doesn't reach over the plate to go in with a fastball to break, to open up that slider again. Right now he's basically saying, here comes another one. You're not able to hit it. I'm throwing it in a perfect spot.
Everything Bryant could do to spoil that pitch. Good job by the young third baseman. Last year's Rookie of the Year. This year's likely MVP in the National League.
The key to pitching in baseball is owning one part of the plate, making that your money pitch. You've got to own it. If you can go to both sides of the plate, you're Clayton Kershaw, and you're the best pitcher in baseball. Right now, he has owned one part of the plate, and the Cubs can't do anything with it. That's the pitch that has effect, right? He was looking away. If he had that pitch 2 inches down, I don't think there's any way Bryant could have laid off of it. Now he can go back away with that same break on his harder curveball.
Struck him out. World Series history. Corey Kluber, the first to strike out 8 through 3 innings. Number 28 is on. Kevin Burkhardt, it's all yours.
Okay, Joe, this commercial-free break is brought to you by T-Mobile. Welcome to Unlimited Baseball as we take you out to our set here in center field at Progressive Field. We have got Frank Thomas, Pete Rose, Alex Rodriguez. I don't know what you do against Corey Kluber. He's got already the most strikeouts for any Indian pitcher in the World Series. We've seen that two-seamer just ride in. 3 of the best hitters of all time. How do you hit him? What do you do?
Well, on a night like tonight, you probably don't. Corey has been dominating. He has Cubs hitters talking to themselves and shaking their heads. And he's doing it with a mix of 3 pitches, fastball, cutter, and a wipeout slider. And the most dominating pitch has been that hip pitch. If you're a left-handed hitter, it looks like that pitch looks like it's going to basically shatter your right hip.
I'm going to wade in there. Pete, how do you hit this guy?
You got to back off the plate a little bit because you're starting the ball inside. It's ended up on the inside part of the plate on the corner. They're all good pitches. They're unhittable.
He's a bona fide ace. When he's on like this, I've seen him do it a few times this year. This is why he won the Cy Young a few years ago. But right now, he's definitely on his A game. It could be a long night for the Cubs hitters.
What do we think about Lester? Obviously, it was kind of a weird first inning for him. I mean, you don't see him, he's 0-2 on Geyer, and then he hit him a couple walk strains as he settled in, do you think?
I think so. They didn't hit him that hard. You got a swinging bunt and hit batsman. So he wasn't that bad. It took him a little bit. I think Larry Vanover kind of squeezed him a little bit in that first inning also. So it's tough sledding when you got a team like this with this type of pitching, and Mr. Miller is in waiting in the zone here for you.
Nobody on 2S, and measly ground ball to center field, stolen base, 2 walks, and a hit batsman 0-2 when he hit the batter. That's bad.
That's the great thing of having a guy like David Ross behind the plate. He looks like he's got this game back under control, so he should be pretty good from here on out.
Yeah, that's for sure. And Pete, you were talking about it before the game. Kyle Schwarber back. Amazing that he's back. Not in Arizona anymore. Corey Kluber's not in the Arizona Fall League. That is for sure.
I wish him luck, but he's going to strike out 3 times tonight.
Oh, we shall find out, and we will see. Guys, unlimited baseball doesn't stop there. Now fans can stream and post as much as they want with T-Mobile One and unlimited data. This postseason, the Uncarrier asks you to show us who is baseball's #1 fan for a chance to win tickets to every game of the 2017 World Series. We're down to 3 finalists, and now it's up to you to decide. Go to @T-Mobile on Twitter to view the entries and to tweet your vote to Unlimited Baseball and #baseball or office or love. Thanks, fans, for watching the T-Mobile One Unlimited Baseball break. Back over to Joe and John.
Kevin, guys, thank you. Away we go. Bottom of the 3rd inning. Here's the last strikeout. And this is postseason game number 1,503. And it's the first time any pitcher has had 8 strikeouts through 3 innings of any postseason game. It just happens to take place here in the World Series, Game 1. The man in charge of all the side sessions and all the work that Corey Kluber puts in is Mickey Callaway. And Mickey, man, you got to be thrilled with the way your horse is throwing the ball here tonight.
I really am. You know what? He's executing his pitches. He's relaxed, calm, and that's really allowing him to get the ball where he wants to.
It'll be 3, 4, and 5 hitters for the Indians here, leading 2-0. That means Lindor, who started the rally in the first with a 2-out single and a stolen base. We'll get to Mickey after this pitch. Another hit for Lindor. That kid is unbelievable. Meanwhile, Mickey, you talk about Corey Kluber and the dominant stuff he has had here. This is not just a postseason phenomenon. He's been so good over the past few months. Your pitching staff, it's so varied coming out of the bullpen. You give the opposition a lot of different looks, don't you?
Yeah, we really do. That really allows us to match up however we want late in the game. And obviously our starters have been doing a really good job of getting to those guys. So, we feel really relaxed, especially when we get, that 3rd time through the order. And we feel like we can be really effective from then on.
After the leadoff hit, here is Napoli. One last question, Mickey, and that is about Andrew Miller, the MVP of the ALCS. What a luxury, because you don't need length out of your starters, and you can bring a guy like Kluber back earlier than you might otherwise. It's nice to have him, isn't it?
It really is. Like I said, that 3rd time through the order, if we need to, then we can bring Andrew Miller in and make sure that we kind of hold him at bay. So our offense gets an early lead, and then we let the bullpen have it, and there you go.
Mickey, thanks for the time, and we appreciate it very much, and good luck this series.
Really appreciate it, guys. Thanks a lot.
The Indians were number 2 in the American League with a team ERA of 3.84. Lindor already has stolen 1. That's strike 2 on Napoli.
Well, he's inching off a little bit more, is Lindor. And if it isn't during this at-bat, then the next batter that comes up, he will attempt a stolen base. See Rizzo just trying to create an illusion by getting in between the base and the runner.
That is right down the middle, and a big strikeout for Lester. And John knows he is in a battle tonight against Corey Kluber, 1 out.
Now this situation right here, after coming back and making these 3 pitches to get a strikeout, at some point Joe Madden is going to pick his spots and throw a pitch out. or at least a high fastball to give Ross an opportunity. If he thinks they're going, that's one way to defend against it. The other way to defend against it, Ross will pick his spots and back pick. In other words, throw behind the runner if he's got too big of a lead to Rizzo to try to pick him off. But this would be the time, I would think, in one of the next two pitches, be awfully tempted to throw a pitch out, anticipating Lindor going to second base.
Batter is Carlos Santana, the DH. And he left, but Lester won't throw over. It's just crazy. I mean, the mind, he won't throw to first. The last time he threw to first base was the 24th of July in a game against Milwaukee, and the Brewers stole 6 bases off John Lester. And here's a guy who's one of the best pitchers in the game who refuses to throw over to first base just because he can't make himself do it.
Yeah, I almost felt that that would have been the perfect time for a pitch out, as you saw that he was going.
We talked about it, and it's that Y word that nobody wants to say in golf, other sports. I mean, he's got the yips, throwing the ball anywhere but to the plate with a hitter in the batter's box. There goes Lindor. Throw down by Ross. Got him, and what a tag. Lindor's not moving. He thinks he was safe. Baez delivered that quick tag, and at the moment it's 2 out.
Great release by Ross. This wasn't the greatest of jumps by Lindor. Watch a little hesitation, then he goes, and this guy can definitely apply a tag. He doesn't have to look and see where the guy's going, but
I don't know if he touched him.
I think they'll have another look at this one.
Here's another look at it.
See, he never looks, does Baez, to try and apply the tag. He's almost feeling for the base runner. And Lindor didn't feel anything. So he said, definitely check this out.
And now the Indians are not going to. Lindor thinks he's safe, and he's reluctantly walking off the field. The Indians are not going to ask this be reviewed, and maybe the edge of the glove right there, the strings on the glove, whatever it is. I don't think there is clear and convincing evidence to overturn the call. What a throw by David Ross. And what a tag by Javier Baez yet again. And that's the voice of John Lester.
I mean,
he thinks that was a strike.
You can't blame him for the strikes and calls that the other side's getting. Ross is trying his best to talk to Larry because the other guy's painting on that same side of the plate.
3-0 pitch to Santana. And Lester is hot. Let's go back to that 2-0 pitch. Vanover's not too thrilled either. Let's go back to the 2-0.
It's a good pitch. I don't know what the box says, but
here it is from above. And you could hear Lester screaming.
Well, it's just simple. I mean, whether it's a strike or not, you're seeing your guys jump out of the way and get strike calls, and he's been making great pitches, and Kluber just absolutely spotting it up.
Batter now is Jose Ramirez, takes the ball. Santana walks for the second time tonight.
And remember, a pitcher always sees it differently when he's delivering a ball, the angle that his head is at. It definitely looks good when your catcher doesn't move.
There's a good pitch, ball on a strike.
And like we all do, we're going to go in afterwards. We're going to go to the computer. We're going to look at those pitches to either satisfy our mind or say, okay, I overreacted.
1-1. In at the knees, strike 2.
The one difference for John Lester in this game, he is not going to the plate with the bat to have any subtle conversation that he wants to have because the DH applies here. So he has to have his conversations from 60 feet away.
Santana at first, 2 out, 1-2 pitch. Ramirez reaches out and gets a base hit into center. 2 on, 2 out. And Jose Ramirez, who has an RBI single on an infield chopper that went about 45 feet, is 2 for 2.
This guy's been unbelievable. We talked about his ability to come and play every day. The injury of Michael Brantley, learning how to play third base. Second base is actually his real position of comfort. But everything that Terry Francona has been able to do, and every guy that he plugged in, have come up big, it seems like, for a year. And unfortunately, Santana coming up lame.
Yeah, he's grabbing, he was a moment ago, his leg. DH who drew a walk after Lindor was thrown out trying to steal. And who knows if it's a cramp.
It almost reacts. It almost looks like he's reacting to a cramp. So far, nothing has been real easy. The Indians are not making it easy on John Lester. He's been grinding out there. Another 2-out situation for the Indians with runners on.
Santana trying to walk it off out at second base. The batter will be Brandon Guyer with 2 on and 2 out. And now they want to get him some water.
Well, you see him running on a base hit all the way, and then right about there, it doesn't seem like a whole lot until he just almost looks like it's a cramp.
Fluids, Gatorade, and John Lester's saying, how long is this going to take? So while they tried to alleviate what you have to guess is a cramp, we'll tell you you can experience every postseason moment with MLB.com at Bat, the #1 app for live baseball. It's the only place to get it all. Live radio feeds, video highlights, pitch tracking, StatCast, and much more. Download at Bat today. I'll ask you, John Smoltz, a veteran of the postseason, how would you be putting up with this if you were on the mound while they try and alleviate the symptoms of a cramp out at second base?
Well, you understand it, and you just try to be as patient as you can. Look, this time of year is always the intensity of wanting to help your team and pitch your team to victory.
I think Lester's about had enough.
It's going to have to be a gapper, you would think, based on the way he's reacting to score on a hit. But the fact that he can go in after this inning and not have to come out to the field, they can address the cramp.
Here's Guyer now, hit by a pitch with the bases loaded for an RBI, made it 2-0 in the first. It's 2-0 in the third. Guyer. Ball one upstairs as Ross popped up.
Ross was trying to go to first base there, just catch the napping of Ramirez. Great chance to do it with first and second. You see Rizzo going back to the bag, but Ramirez was more ready than I thought he would be on that first pitch.
1-0. That is hammered foul. Guyer picked up from the Rays the 1st of August, and here he is in the World Series, starting in left for Cleveland.
Terry Francona using platoon systems. Guyer against left-handers.
Hit 336 on the year. Geyer played for Joe Madden with the Rays, and Brandon here trying to add to the lead, which is 2-0, third inning. 1-1 pitch. And no swing. 2-1.
These situations, Geyer on the year has been outstanding. You see him fastball up, just keeps the barrel from crossing home plate. With 2 outs and runners in scoring position, 344 average. So he definitely locks in.
Nice pickup by this Cleveland front office. What a year they had. Mike Chernoff, Chris Antonetti. Chernoff in his first year since being named the general manager. Antonetti getting more responsibilities. Good front office tandem. Here comes the 2-1. 2 on, 2 out. 2-2. Game 2 is tomorrow night. Some rain in the forecast, which has everybody wondering what kind of a night it'll be weather-wise here in Cleveland. Tonight, 50 degrees. The breeze coming in from center. No rain in the forecast for game 1. 2-2 count. Got him looking, and a good job by John Lester after all that. And he now walks over toward the home plate umpire. Lester has kept it a 2-run game.
Today, we're talking about automotive awards. Which one of these awards appeals most to you?
Top safety pick, mid-size car, and SUV.
Most dependable means a lot to me.
The green car, because I like fuel efficiency.
What if there was a car company that received all of these awards?
One company, one award in all these? Chevy.
Chevrolet is the most awarded car company of the last 2 years.
I love it. It's fierce.
How would you sum this car up in one word?
Incredible, amazing. I can't use one word.
Ever since I took this case, weird stuff's happening to me.
Dog has to stay down.
Billy created this firm.
I created this firm. He will turn this into David and Goliath.
You can't win this.
Maybe not, but I'm sure gonna try.
It's your TV. Take it with you. With DirecTV and AT&T, watch all your live channels on your devices data-free. Switch to DirecTV and lock in your price for 2 years. Offers starting at $50 a month.
In past World Series, these players stole the base that brought free tacos to America. So, who will be this year's taco hero? If someone steals a base this World Series, America scores free Doritos Locos Tacos. Steal a base, steal a taco. Only at Taco Bell.